Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between attaxSocke and seppL here on Lost Temple. We have seppL spawning as the yellow Zerg player over here at the 8 o'clock position. Meanwhile, over here at the 6 o'clock position, we have attaxSocke spawning as the red Protoss. So this is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg matchup here on Lost Temple. We already have the Overlord flying out and going to be able to do a quick scout, so we'll see what's really going to become of this scouting and what exactly this game is really going to mean and how all the players are going to really react. It does take quite some time to really be able to walk that distance. So Probe now walking down here and then looking to perhaps do more of a front door seal. So attaxSocke placing this pylon right here should be able to perhaps put a gateway or a forge here, and then be able to put another building right in here, making it very difficult for any of those Zerg units to really be able to do a quick run by. attaxSocke has really got this build down. Gonna probably come back and build a gateway right there, and then move on out. He's got to know that there is no reason to really scout that position, this starting position over here, as the Overlord is now in the air and he can see it. seppL now coming in, flying with this Overlord, really wants to make sure that there's no cheese, so he's going to be heading over here towards this positioning, making sure that there is no sort of proxy gateway in his base. There already is a spawning pool being laid down. That was a 14 spawning pool, I believe. So that spawning pool going to be up and running in just a moment. Drones now coming in. seppL not getting that gas just quite yet, so trying to go for more of a mineral intensive army. seppL coming over, sees that there is this gateway over here. Gateway now being finished warping in, so a zealot may be trained. Yeah, zealot being trained, and now chrono boosting that zealot. Spawning pool nearly completed and only needs an additional 20 units of time to complete, and then Zerglings will start flooding out of this hatchery. Probe coming in, trying to get a couple quick zaps on that one drone, and one Overlord still coming in the air. No second hatchery yet, so seppL trying to go build off of a single base play as opposed to two base play, as this drone now Zerglings are currently in production. 6 Zerglings, for some reason no queen yet. seppL perhaps trying to go for another hatchery. No, not quite sure why there is no queen. There we go. Drone now finally on the move. Zealot may try to take down this hatchery as it's being built. Yeah, so Zealot and Probe coming in. Zerglings coming down off that ramp, gonna maybe able to get a surround off on that Zealot. Zealot able to get one quick attack off, and now getting surrounded, pinned up against the wall there. So a nice quick surround, and now perhaps gonna go after that second Zealot. One Probe. All of these Zerglings very low on hit points. Even a Probe may be able to come in and do a quick zap there too. So more Zerglings now gathering up, but 2 Zealots coming into play. All of this off of one gateway with chrono boost. So more Zealots now coming in. Zerglings trying to jump down that ramp, and we'll see how this is going to work. No queen. Oh, there finally is that queen. That queen was desperately late, and that drone canceling himself, doesn't want to grow up to be, well, a hatchery, and instead going back to mining. So we have attaxSocke able to really delay the building of that expansion, so we're going to have seppL running off of one base play for a little while longer. We do have a Roach War now coming in, and 3 Zealots guarding the downward choke ramp of seppL. So seppL really not able to really head out. We'll see how this is going to work. The queen now coming over, perhaps going to use that little bit of a claw attack. No creep tumor just quite yet, so really not able to move out that quickly. Perhaps a second queen. Yeah, second queen now being trained, and now we're going to have roaches being produced as well. So just really needs the gas in order to really be able to train up those units. Probably also needs another Overlord. seppL sitting on too many minerals to really be that efficient. If you look at attaxSocke sitting on only 150 minerals at a time, while seppL could have been training an earlier queen, could have been training an additional Overlord. Yeah, finally training up 2 more Overlords, but still supply lock. So seppL not doing that great in this particular instance, and now without those creep tumors down, those roaches will not be able to really chase like they really want to. Oh, nice surround. Oh, trying to get a surround on these Zerglings, with these Zerglings on these Zealots. Zealots look like they're going to get taken down. Roaches really adding a little bit of extra damage to that attack. Zerglings were really tanking that whole entire fight, as those roaches now scurrying across that ramp. There's going to be 2 photon cannons there. So I believe the range on a roach does allow for a unit to sit right here and be able to attack past a forge. but this photon cannon will finish warping in, and those Zerglings are going to be forced to push back. attaxSocke now running off of 2-base play, sitting on 26 harvesters compared to seppL only having 17 harvesters. So seppL will really need a power drone for quite some time in order to macro up and get the economy that he really wants. seppL, and perhaps now going for a little bit of a more gutsy move, taking down these destructible rocks in order to get these high yield gold minerals. These gold minerals return more per trip, so that is one of the ways that a Zerg player can really try to even out that drone count. Essentially 6 drones here mine at the rate of 8 drones at a normal mineral patch, so giving a little bit of a boost if you're not able to fully saturate all of your bases. Weapons upgrade now coming in from that forge, so those zealots are going to be able to really dish out and take down those Zerglings very easily. Zealots only needing to take 2 damage instead of 3, and that really helps out in terms of that whole entire fight there. So taking a look at the army of seppL is definitely larger than attaxSocke's, but you just have to keep in mind that there is one pylon powering all these buildings and all of these photon cannons here, so we'll not be able to really push on through unless we get some sort of research on movement speed and a drop. That'd be pretty interesting to say the least. Also, Hydralisk being trained on up as well, getting the evolved groove spines so that those spines travel one range farther. Those Hydralisks able to take down those units. Pylons being placed down. attaxSocke most likely concerned about some sort of drop, placing pylons around the map, ensuring that there is no drop coming in. seppL, however, has a good idea of how saturated attaxSocke is. This mineral patch over here sitting off of what it looks like 25 harvesters, 25 harvesters, almost fully saturated. You have to also take into consideration that there are probes on gas here, so it takes 24 plus 3 on each. So that is why it's 30 minerals per base, except these only take 24, I believe. Anyways, I'll talk about that more later during perhaps another tutorial. Creep tumors now spreading out across the field, so roaches and Hydralisks will be able to move much more quickly, be able to reinforce much more easily as well. No upgrade on the movement speeds of those overlords. I don't see any upgrades or any starports just quite yet. We do have an observer now being built, so that observer will give sight, but I don't see any. Do I see a Twilight Council? No Twilight Council. Oh, and a gateway being taken down. So that gateway being taken down, so these units now able to move on out. Army-wise, both sides sitting fairly even, and now attaxSocke with that stronger economy, able to mine out more gas and more minerals. Hydralisk now moving on out, and so that creep tumor probably should be used. I don't know why that creep tumor is just being held back a little bit, but still needs to burrow itself and then continue to move on out of there. I really liked Zerg play. Zerg play now using those creep tumors much more effectively. Out comes an observer, so the observer now in play. seppL as a Zerg player should at least have one overseer. You never want to be caught without without an observer or without a detector. Without that detector, you're going to really get caught in open field if any Dark Templars try to warp on in or are dropped into your base. seppL now has a decent idea of this army sitting over here, and there is an observer coming in, so in come these units. Guardian Shield coming in, and that Guardian Shield not really that successful, and they'll income a couple of those force fields, so the Hydralisk, realizing that they can't really do anything there, did not retreat. I like that play from seppL. seppL focusing down those zealots that were there in order to take down at the cost of a couple Hydralisks. Both sides losing some units there, but attaxSocke's really now losing more in terms of resources. He does, however, have a stronger economy, and now with attaxSocke taking this high yield mineral location over here, things may just start to shift, and attaxSocke may be able to perhaps go into already going into a 5-gate with the robotics facility. Now also into that Twilight Council, so dual Robo Bay. In comes this fight here. Hydralisk now pushing on in. Mass Stalkers against Mass Hydralisk. It's just the sheer numbers that attaxSocke is really winning this fight, as Hydralisks are a better counter towards against against these Stalkers, then Stalkers are able to deal. Stalkers are only dealing 11 damage per attack compared to the compared to the Hydralisk. The Hydralisk are dealing 13. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between attaxSocke and seppL here on Lost Temple.